Welcome back to Operation Red Torch of the RAF campaign here in Strike Fighters 2 in the NATO mod. We're flying Gloucester Meteors with number 54 Squadron out of Geilenkirchen Air Base in West Germany. Today's date is June 26th. This is 5 days after our first mission and 7 days after the start of hostilities. Our mission today is going to be to provide an air combat patrol over Bad Hersfeld. Destroy any enemy aircraft approaching your assigned area. Call sign will be Python. We'll be taking 8 Meteor F-8s. Takeoff time 11:26. Over Bad Hersfeld at 11:49 and back landing at 12:23. Back in aircraft, VZ-471 today. And since we are strictly air-to-air, we have nothing on the outboard wing pylons. The only thing we've got is our 175-gallon ventral drop tank for a total takeoff weight of 15,860 pounds. And all 8 aircraft have a matching loadout. Looks like we'll be taking off to the east out of Geilenkirchen again today, so I'm going to circle the airbase once while climbing up to 20,000 feet for cruise as we get all 8 aircraft up and into formation. And then we'll head out to the east, continuing that climb as we go up over Cologne and Wuppertal, over to waypoint 3, just south of Arnsberg, over the Bergisches Land again. This flight plan will look very similar to the one we had last time. That's because we're going to almost the same neighborhood, except not going quite as far to the east as we did before. Instead of going all the way out to Eisenach, we'll be over the town that's just to the west, down Route 4, and that's this Bad Hersfeld, and that's right at the crossroads here between Route 4, which goes out to the east, and Route 7, which is that north-south highway. And here over the target we'll be intercepting any enemy aircraft that are on their way in. The crossroads is being held by the U.S. 3rd Armored Cav Regiment with M47 Patton tanks, while just to the south it looks like the offensive into Fulda was successful. We've got some Soviet tanks in this little bubble now, just to the south, down along Route 7 there. It looks like they swung around and came in from the east, cutting through the Thuringian forest. So that happened sometime over the last week while we weren't here. The Soviets are making advances into West Germany. In fact, I'll bet one of our jobs today is going to be to stop any attack aircraft from getting to the 3rd Cav, because it looks like this Soviet division, the 6 Guards Tank Division in Fulda, they are still conducting an offensive operation into Frankfurt now. So they are pushing on to the southwest, which would be really bad news if they made it through. So we need to do everything we can to protect our sector today, because Bad Hersfeld cannot fall. Right now, the 3rd Cav is a flanking threat to the Soviets, so they're going to be probably looking to take them out and solidify this front line here. So let's try to make sure that doesn't happen. Down to the south of Soviet advance in Würzburg is our boys on the ground, the British 6th Infantry Division. They're holding this crossroads down here to the south with their Comet tanks. Out to the east along the front lines, right at the corner of Czechoslovakia and East Germany, we have the U.S. 11th Armored Cavalry Regiment here at the town of Hof. This is still the original line here, so no movement by the Soviets to come down through Hof, down that road, but I suspect that that's probably part of their game plan eventually. Once we've shot down as many airplanes as we can, we're going to head out to the southwest, climbing back up to altitude for the flight home. Hitting waypoint 7 just to the east of Bonn, descending back down into Geilenkirchen for landing. Very busy roster today, but we're not going to worry about everybody, just the primary flight. Pilot Officer Reginald Hickenbottom with 1 combat mission, 2 air-to-air kills, 5 air-to-ground, all just from the previous mission. I'm in Python 1, my wingman in Python 2. Pilot Officer James Allard, once again, he was also my number 2 last time, and he got that 1 air-to-air kill with us, so maybe we can get him some more today. Commanding the second element in Python 3, Flight Lieutenant Paul Green, and his wingman in number 4, Flying Officer Malcolm Hogg. And leading the second flight today in Python 2-1 is our squadron commander, squadron leader, Sammy Wilkinson, who has 12 combat missions, 1 air-to-air kill. So a significant percentage of the squadron up today. I'm in command of the first flight, and our squadron leader commanding the second flight, who will be behind us. Okay, and that does it for the briefing. This time out, pretty simple, straightforward, and nowhere near as much stuff as we had to talk about in the first briefing, so pretty painless today. Let's get on out to our meteor. Alright, Python flight clear for takeoff, runway 9. We've got a nice direct headwind once again, so full power. Rolls-Royce Derwent engines slowly spooling up to speed. And we are underway. Airspeed's alive. 100 knots. There's 120, 130. I'm pulling back on the stick. And we come off the ground right at 150. Gear up. And flaps up. Beautiful summer day in the year of 1953 here in West Germany. Select the 4 20mm cannons, put the gun sight in air-to-air, just early so I don't have to worry about it later. Alright, I'm going to start pulling the power back. We're going to level out at 3,000 feet while I make the circuit, at least the first part of the circuit, will stay fairly low. Bring the speed back so that we are slow as well, and really let the wingmen be able to get into formation. And then as we swing around the backside, we'll continue the climb up to 20,000 feet for cruise. So kind of a big circuit today. We have 8 aircraft to get up off the ground. While we're doing that, just a couple of fun facts about the city that we'll be flying over today. Bad Hersfeld is a festival or spa town. In fact, the bad means bath. That wasn't added until, I think it was 1949. So originally just called Hersfeld. It was occupied by the French during the 7 Years' War in 1761, and again by Napoleon in 1807. The town was set fire to both times by French troops, but damage was minimal, luckily. The town was a headquarters for a Hessian mercenary unit that actually went over and fought for the British during the Revolutionary War, and they were on Long Island and I believe in New Jersey. In 1935, the Wehrmacht built a large barracks in the town. This was later taken over after the war by the U.S. Army. This was the northernmost garrison of the U.S. occupying forces, since the U.S. occupation zone was in the southern part of West Germany. This was the headquarters of the U.S. 14th and 11th Armored Cavalry units, and they protected that crossroads, always on the lookout for possible invasions down that Route 4, coming in from the very close Eisenach, right down the road. The units ran 2 Jeep patrols per day along the East German border, and they had 3 observation posts: OP Romeo, India, and Oscar. We've got guys coming up to us. Wingmen are slowly filing in from the airfield over to the left. And here's the final one. This is the number 4 of the second flight. So this would be Python 2-4. 2-3 is beginning his takeoff run. 2-4 is taxiing into position. So that's going to be the whole squadron up in just a moment. So good time to start making the turn back towards the airbase. And we'll give it full power and go ahead and start the climb as we come around and get onto course heading for waypoint 3 out to the east. And as we climb up towards Arnsberg, we're going to once again go right over the Cologne and Wuppertal areas. Crossing over the Rhine River, we'll see Dusseldorf out to our left, and out on our right is going to be the big wooded low hills of the Bergisches Land. One of the reasons that I wanted to do this campaign was that it's a fictional war, and so because of that, I can do less research and lectures. I don't have to come up with a subject for every single episode because there's not a whole lot to talk about in terms of historical context of things. I can still talk about the equipment and different interesting areas that we're flying over or into, and I've still been enjoying that, but that's definitely way less work and much faster to just pump out. So my hope is that these episodes will be much faster to produce and I can churn more of them out quicker than maybe some of the Vietnam ones. And no, I'm definitely not abandoning any of the other series. Still going to keep making all of them. I just wanted a little bit something lighter to be able to switch back and forth to when I'm sort of not in the mood to do heavy Vietnam research, on a particular day. So if I jump around between all the different series, this one will be a much more relaxing thing to produce because I can just go in and just sort of do the mission and maybe look up some history on a couple of German towns and be done with it. But here at the beginning of this campaign, there's still a lot of interesting things I want to talk about, want to understand some of the real-world events that were happening at the time that could have led to a real war, understanding sort of the geopolitical situation that was going on. The basis for this campaign does have its roots in real-world events, and that's what I want to talk about today, the East German Uprising of 1953. Friction between Stalin and the West began almost as soon as World War II ended. The Eastern European countries that the Soviet Union had annexed or occupied remained under their control, and were converted into satellite states with their new governments modeled on the Stalinism brand of communism. This group of countries was known as the Eastern Bloc, and consisted of Albania, Bulgaria, Poland, Czechoslovakia, Romania, Hungary, and East Germany. Stalin had promised to allow these states the right to self-govern and choose their own governments, which he reneged on almost immediately, leading Western leaders to start considering him unreliable. In addition to this, Stalin refused to leave occupied Iran, which he had promised that he would, causing the Iran crisis of 1946. Winston Churchill, though no longer Prime Minister of Britain at the time, was especially wary of Stalin. President Truman had announced that all U.S. forces would be out of Europe by 1947, and Churchill feared that the U.S. would return to isolationism. The countries of Europe were exhausted, broke, and in ruins. They would be unable to resist Soviet expansion if it came. Churchill devoted much of his time in the late 40s persuading Truman and the U.S. government to remain in Europe. In 1946, in Fulton, Missouri, he gave a speech popularizing the term Iron Curtain for the first time to describe the Soviet division of Europe. The Iron Curtain kept people in and information out. Though not popular at the time, as the American people still saw the Soviets as close allies, the phrase later came into common use to describe the Soviet effort to block itself and its states from open contact with the West. By the late 50s, the Iron Curtain became a physical reality as thousands of miles of walls, watchtowers, fences, and minefields were built through Germany and Czechoslovakia. This included the Berlin Wall, which cut off Soviet-controlled East Berlin from Allied-controlled West Berlin. As the US and the Allies moved forward with plans to rebuild an economically stable Germany, the Soviets blockaded West Berlin to protest the introduction of the new Deutschmark currency. This led to the Berlin airlift of 1948 and 49. Over 15 months, Allied cargo planes flew almost 3 million tons of cargo into West Berlin to supply its citizens. When Joseph Stalin died in March of 1953, the future of the leadership of the Soviet Union was not clear. Several top members of the government vied for power. Georgy Malenkov was appointed Stalin's successor, but that lasted only 9 days before he had to settle for only the position of premier, as the government moved away from the dictatorship of Stalin and returned to collective leadership. It was one of the Soviet Politburo's first moves to begin slowly dismantling Stalinism and the damage that it was doing to the country. However, all these changes would not be in time to save the economy of East Germany. Taking Stalin-esque measures to Sovietize East Germany as quickly as possible, the East German people were being overworked and underpaid, and anger was rising. The construction of socialism required mandatory overtime from factory workers along with a 33% pay cut. 160,000 people left the country in 1951, 182,000 in 1952, and despite a sealed border, another 122,000 people left in the first 4 months of 1953. The new Soviet Politburo, still led for the moment by Malenkov, was alarmed at these numbers and feared the loss of stability in the country. They flew the East German Politburo to Moscow, where they denounced the German First Secretary and issued orders for a complete reversal of policy. This only made things worse, however. The overworking of factory employees was not rescinded, so workers were still angry. Other German communists were angered and confused by the conflicting orders and an admission that the government had made a mistake. Party members felt betrayed, and the East German government was considered weak. All this leads to the beginning of our campaign in the game, with anti-government strikes and demonstrations breaking out on the 16th of June in East Berlin. The East German government was unprepared for the depth of the people's resentment, and a clumsy and out-of-touch propaganda campaign only fanned the flames as riots erupted across the entire country that night. Soviet troops were entering East Berlin by the next morning, the 17th of June. Tens of thousands of protesters filled the streets. Soviet tanks and troops began firing into the crowd near the police headquarters of East Berlin. Fighting lasted all day and into the night as Soviet and German troops cleared the streets. Nearly 10,000 mass arrests were made, along with 40 executions. In real life, the situation calmed after a few days, though the German Communist Party took a huge hit in numbers of members and support. Then, just days later, the Soviet Politburo in Moscow had another shake-up. A political coup, led by Nikita Khrushchev, with the help of the Red Army, ousted Malenkov as premier, arrested and executed the head of the secret police, and made Khrushchev the de facto leader of the Soviet Union. Had any of these events been slightly different, it's possible that the German uprising could have led to the war we are now fighting. Had the unpredictable Stalin still been alive? Or had NATO forces been spooked by the influx of Soviet troops? Or had Khrushchev and his pro-peace agenda with the West not taken power, an escalation to full war could easily have erupted. Over the direct center of the Burgisches now, as we're closing in on waypoint 4, not too far away. Check in with ground control, see if there's anybody on radar. We are still clear for the moment. Looks like a friendly flight down to the south, Dodge flight, coming into the area as well. Slightly ahead of us, maybe we'll hit the throttle a little bit and try to get into the area at the same time as them. in case we need to cover them. I actually don't know what they are. If they're ground attack aircraft, if they're going to be repelling an invasion on the ground, or if they're just going to be helping us out in the air. Still no bandits. Allard off the left wing. Oh yeah, Dodge lead is in hot, so maybe they're attacking ground units, or maybe anti-air. Not sure. Let's get over Bad Herzfeld a little bit faster to give them some cover. That looks like out there to my right, smudge of gray out in the green. And there's waypoint 4, so we're turning in towards the city now. And we've got bandits reported 12 o'clock at 15 miles. They're MiG-15s. And at 15 miles, they're either right over Herzfeld or just beyond. So full power, we got to get in there and make sure that they're not going to jump Dodge flight. And we'll start engaging these guys. They're 10 miles now. So let's tell Flight 2 to engage air. And we'll also tell Flight 1 to engage air. So now all the wingmen are going to stay in formation until we spot those bad guys visually, and then they're going to break off, and they'll start beginning their own individual attacks. 2 staying with me. Diving down through these light clouds. See if we can pop out through the other side and surprise these guys, because they got to be close. They're only 7 miles away. They should be very visible on the other side of these clouds. And there they are. Dead out ahead. I got a high-low pair, 4 aircraft. 12 o'clock. And another set of MiGs moving left to right up above them. So we have at least 8 MiGs right here. Target-rich environment, and it looks like they've seen us. Picking a target, moving in on it. Going head-to-head with this guy. MiG-15 firing. Oh, very close, and we come out on top of that one. Oh, man. First MiG down in a head-to-head pass. Up over the top, heading for his buddies now. He's turning in on me as well. Breaks out as we duck under and around. Try to get behind him again. And I've just got dots everywhere. The sky is full of aircraft. I love this. This is why I love the old campaigns, because you just have a million airplanes turning and fighting and shooting. Something you don't get too often with the newer equipment. Here we go. There's a guy who's turning in towards me. Yes. Up and over the top. Wait for him to pop out. There he is. We'll wing in on him. Plane's actually moving nice and fast this time with the air brakes retracted. Mixture 2 is covering my 6. And another meteor just off to the left there. Okay, MiG is straightening out. Looks like he's going into a bit of a climb. We're closing the gap. We are so close. Yes, and that's ahead. He's coming apart. Above Herzfeld. Ducking down and underneath, looking for our next target now. Somebody firing up at 12 o'clock high. Looks like a MiG right there, getting onto one of my guys. 6 o'clock. Yep, MiG-15. Let's try to close in again. Wow! Tracers whizzing by the canopy. Not sure who is being fired at or by whom. Let's clear our 6 a little bit. I don't see anybody back there close. Oh no, that MiG-15 is firing at one of the wingmen. He is locked onto this guy. Fuck, I don't want to repeat what happened last time. Can we save this guy? Yes! Yes! Holy shit. Extreme long distance shot, but we took him apart. He is going down. Plume of smoke. Let's dive. Clear our 6 once again. Then we'll climb back up into the fight, look for our next target. Bad Herzfeld just behind us there. We're still in the airspace above it. Coming around, I have another dot out here. What's this? Sort of looks like a meteor. I think it's a friendly. 2 MiGs out to my left. He's still in formation. Are we having, are we getting more enemy planes joining the fight? Trickling in? They're turning into me.
Good kill. Good kill. Red one.
Yep. Okay, same thing as before. We'll pull up. Over to the right. Wait for them to come out from underneath. There they are.
Okay, leader. Next waypoint.
And another meteor cutting in between us and them. Big furball out to the left. Oh, that's a meteor. Where'd the MiG go? There he is. He's out to my left and lost him there for a second. If they did just show up, these 2 MiGs, then we have a shit ton of airplanes in this fight right now. Come on. Oh, he's getting awful close. Really too close. Brakes are out. Bleeding speed. God! We got him. We got him. Pieces were bouncing off the canopy on that one. But he is going down. That's a meteor up high, 12 o'clock. Keep scanning the sky. Let's make sure that 2 is on my wing and that 3 is still engaging air. They're weapons free. We got another MiG down right to the left here nearby. Oh, wait, we got a smoke plume. I think one of our guys got him. Okay, next target. Another 3 dots out to the right. And we'll go for the one going low. In fact, let's get 2 in on this if he's right with me. Let's try to get 2 some kills. That's Pilot Officer Allard. Oh, and somebody's on his ass. Yes! Oh, he is smoking. He's going down. I don't know who got the kill. But that MiG-15 is kaput. Yep, spinning in. Look at that. Pieces coming off. Oh, shit. We've lost somebody, though. One of the wingmen just took a hit. Where did that happen? I'm looking for plumes of smoke. I don't see it. Alright, nearest target. We got another MiG-15 out behind us. Let's move in on him. Oh, looks like he's high and behind me. Nope, now he's peeling off. Let's get 2 on him now. Coming around, that MiG is just underneath the horizon, taking fire from another meteor. One of the wingmen. Ooh, breaks out. We're gonna just slide in right behind him. We're gonna cut in behind his circle. Yes, perfect. We're right behind him, matching his speed. Breaks in. Nice close shot, and they take his tail off. Oh my god, I fucking love this airplane. I love the meteor. That's like my 4th kill already. MiG-15 rolling in close behind. All right, banking away. In fact, let's go underneath him. Ooh, I heard an explosion. Something just hit the ground out to the right. That might have been the MiG that I was shooting down. MiG is behind me to my left. I can just see him up there in the corner, maintaining this climb. Just barely blacking out. Let's get 2 to cover my 6. And he is down! Somebody got him already. Now that's fucking teamwork. Yes, indeed. I don't know which wingman got him, but look at that. He is going right down, going to impact into that field. He is down. Another MiG-15. We still got some flying, though, which is fucking crazy. Because we have taken a ton of them out, and there's still a whole gaggle of them left, apparently. God, how many MiG-15s did they send in? What is this guy doing? Is he maneuvering? Oh, no, he's down! Yes! Well fucking done. Meteor off to my right. And I think, as we're checking around, I'm pressing the button, I think that we have finally run out of targets. Wicked shooting indeed. Yeah, I'm not seeing anyone else around. There's the city. And ground control says that our nearest bad guy is 50 miles away. So we have cleared the sky over Bad Herzfeld in a crazy, looping, diving furball of an air battle. Just something straight out of World War II. I love it. Getting the squadron back together now. And, mission is accomplished. Throttle is still firewalled. We're just going to keep climbing up to 20,000 feet. We just passed 10,000. We're going to come around, get on course, head for waypoint 6, and beat feet out of here. There's the city out behind us to the left. Oh, that was really fun. Amazing. And I just saw some explosions out to the left. I think Dodge Flight is still in the area, strafing ground targets out to the left. So maybe there was a ground invasion coming in from Eisenach. Yes, Allard's still with us after all that. I am hoping, fingers crossed, that he got at least one of those couple of kills, couple of MiGs that got shot down that I ordered him to attack. So, you know, we're improving on his score and maybe moving him towards ace status. We'll drop the nose, slow our ascent, bring the speed back up as we're approaching 19,500. Still have plenty of fuel left in the tanks. It's amazing how much you don't burn when you don't have the air brakes out the whole time. And there is 20,000 feet. Wing leveler engaged, and we'll pull the power back for a little bit of cruise speed here. Let's, there we can't get it right on 1100. There we go. Nearest bad guys, still... Okay, yeah, behind us at 8 o'clock, or out to the left at 8 o'clock, more than 50 miles, and they're bugging out. So, wherever these guys were, I don't know if they were even near us to begin with, but they are leaving. Soviet MiGs here. I know we saw some Czechoslovakian ones. What the fuck is that? Oh, those are friendlies. Those are meteors. Are those my meteors? How'd they end up out in front of me? Weird. Oh, there's waypoint 6. So we'll turn over waypoint 7, heading back west, back towards the capital area. I wonder if the second flight just ended up out in front of me, or went out to waypoint 6 on their own. That's possible. I mean, it's weird behavior, but the AI does sort of bizarre stuff sometimes, so... Check in on that, and we are at 350 knots, which is my cruise speed that I like to see. And as soon as we get on course here, we'll hit the wing leveler. Yeah, I think these are definitely guys from my squadron, just doing something strange. We'll pull the power back, give all the planes a chance to get into formation. Something out at my 1 o'clock as well. I really do love this plane. It's fast, maneuverable, handles really well at low speed too, we found out. Oh shit, look at the upper right corner of the map. That's Bad Herzfeld. We just came from there, and look, there is a huge grouping of enemy tanks just outside the city, so possible full-blown invasion coming down the road there from East Germany. Hopefully between our help in the sky and Dodge actually blowing them up on the ground, we'll be able to repel that attack. We're just over the town of Geissen, out to our left, and it doesn't show up on that map there, but Route 45 is going to be just down to our left there, coming out of Geissen and heading up, kind of crossing our path over to the right. I'll pull the power back a little bit to keep it right at 350. Now that the plane's a little bit lighter, 1200 RPM shoots it up over 350, so we'll throttle back and just keep it right there at cruise speed. So out there to the right, that whole expanse, Bergisches Land, we're on the south side of it now on the way back in. Somebody is calling for Joker fuel, which means they are on absolute fumes, and I suspect it's probably the last guys in the second flight. Because I have plenty of fuel this time. We could go for miles and miles and miles at this point. But the AI in the second flight tends to burn more fuel trying to catch up to the formation. I think that is the city of Siegen, out to our right. So we're getting fairly close. We should be seeing the Bonn area pretty soon, coming out of the haze up ahead.
Okay, continuing to the next waypoint. Route 1.
And there is waypoint 7. Two's off to my left. We've only got one out to the right, though. Is that maybe 4? Okay, there's 2. Oh, and 4. We're missing 3. Flight Lieutenant Green seems to have been shot down. Oh, and we go right to Python 2-2. Oh, shit. Squadron Leader Wilkinson was also shot down. There's 2-2, there's 2-3, and 2-4. So we lost 2 aircraft, and that was my number 3, and the squadron leader, unfortunately. I hope they both were able to eject out of their planes. We were over friendly territory, so, you know, that increases the possibility that they'll return to us. That's gonna suck, though, if we lost the squadron leader on the second mission out. Man, I hope he's okay. Okay, looks like I just saw the Rhine out to the left there, so pulling the power back, we're going to begin the descent so we don't overshoot our airport. Oh, somebody just got another kill out there. One of the friendlies just shot something else down. I wonder if more MiGs or possibly Soviet ground attack aircraft were out over Herzfeld. Or could be somewhere else too. It's likely that there is multiple attacks going on up and down the East German border. Maybe trying to break out of Fulda. Who knows? There, I can just see... Is that our airbase ahead? Oh no, that's Norvenich Air Base. So we're gonna head right over that, and then Geilenkirchen on the far side. So this is the little tail of Cologne out here to our 1 o'clock, and Bonn directly beneath us here, actually. And there's Kolnvon Airfield. That's where we had to emergency divert to last time. And no need to do that this time out. We triumphantly fly over it, heading back to our base with a shit ton of MiG kills under our belt. In fact, speaking of triumphantly, why don't we do a formation pass over the airfield as we come back? We are planned to land in from the other direction, coming in from the west, so if we descend and come in from the east, heading west, then I can keep the squadron together. They won't break off to begin their automatic landing cycle, because we won't hit that waypoint. So I'm going to do that. We'll drop down low, maybe change the formation into, I don't know, a wedge or something. Something a little more appropriate as a parade formation, and we'll do a nice, low, fast, triumphant overflight of the airfield. And then I'll order everyone to go home, and we'll get into the break and land. Norvenich out to the left, and I think there was, who was there? I think some Belgian units? Does that sound right? I think we had Belgian squadrons there last time when we were looking at the map. Where is our airfield? Oh, I can just see it right there. It's right on the edge of visibility. Do you see it there on just underneath the horizon? We're almost in line with the runway, so keep an eye on that, and we're going to make a nice gentle turn in just a second to get lined up with it. Alright, let's put Flight 2 into... change that formation. I think that's a wedge formation, and we'll put the first flight in it as well, and then we'll get the squadron to close up, so the two flights should be nice and close to each other. Smartly now, gentlemen. There we go. 4 is still with me. Wingmen are hanging close, which is good. We're up over 400 knots in the dive. But I'm just trying to be nice and gentle with the turns so that the wingmen stay with me and close into position before we get to the end of the runway. Yep, there's 2 nice and close. What the fuck? Where is the second? What? Where the hell? The second flight is still on the east side of Bonn. What the Christ are you guys doing? Well, thanks for ruining that, Flight 2. Return to base, please. Okay, Flight 1, smartly now, gentlemen. We are just going to do a 3-ship flyover to impress everybody on the ground. There's 1,500 feet. Change over the what you call it there, the gun sight to caged mode, so it's not flying all over my windscreen there. Let's very slowly come down. I want to get to maybe 1,000 feet. I don't want to do it too abruptly to frighten off the wingmen. Yes, here we go. Getting nice and low. Coming up on 1,000 feet. What? What are you doing, 3? Oh, come on. Not right now. We're... Jeez. Let's pull back up. 2 is fine. What the hell is 3 spazzing about? What are you doing? Get in formation, you fucking son of a bitch! Oh my god. Well... Thanks for ruining this entire experience, you motherfuckers. And Flight 1! Return to base.
Okay, leader.
Python is in the brake, and Python 1 breaks out, pulling over, getting into downwind. I cannot believe that. You dipshits. Well... They can't fly in formation, but at least they can shoot. I'd much rather have a good combat performance, I guess, than formation flying performance. And we're under a $170 for wheels. They are coming down and locked. And less than 150, so flaps coming into landing position, and the touchdown area about 45 degrees behind us, so coming around for base and final. We're up at 150 knots, that's a little bit fast. I want closer to 120 or 130. Especially because we don't have a long approach this time. Let's clear to the right. Looks like we are clear. Nobody's gonna come in and hit me on landing. Over the outer trees now. About 135. That speed should bleed off as we roll out. Pull the nose up to stop our descent. Right over the threshold, blip of the throttle to make sure we don't land short. And very smoothly touchdown. Outstanding. We're just going to let the plane roll till we get to this taxiway over here, then we'll pull off. And that's going to be it for this mission. Insanely successful. Oh, I see a couple dots out in front of me. Looks like the wingmen have circled around to land already, so here comes this taxiway just in time. And we'll follow the solid line off. So yeah, very successful. I'm really curious to see what our total kill number is, because we mopped the floors with those MiGs today. I don't think there's any other way to say it other than clean sweep. So I'll see you back over in the debriefing room. We'll find out for sure. We'll go through this mission in detail. We'll see you over there. Right, number 54 Squadron was to provide combat air patrol over Bad Herzfeld, destroy any enemy aircraft approaching your assigned area. Flight time was 53 minutes and 3 seconds. Result, 8 primary targets were destroyed, 6 additional enemy aircraft were destroyed. 14 fucking aircraft that we knocked down today for a loss of only 2 meteors. Rating of success, score of 2,500 points. That is huge, and remarks, Pilot Officer Hickenbottom is awarded the Distinguished Flying Cross. The enemy offensive into Bad Herzfeld has been repulsed. So yes, there's like 3 or 4 amazing things that just happened in this mission here. An unbelievable kill ratio. Just the fact that there was 14 aircraft over Herzfeld for us to be able to shoot down was crazy, because like, what if we had gone in with 4 aircraft? We would have been overwhelmed. So luckily we had the 2 full flights today, and even so we were still outnumbered. But yeah, we kicked their asses over West Germany today. My god. And the ground offensive into Herzfeld was also repulsed. So I like to think that a significant part of that was thanks to us. We definitely were keeping the MiGs off of dodge flight. That is for sure. Okay, stats. Wow, I'm so pleased. I'm so happy to see this right now. Look at this. So first of all, I got 5 kills, ace in a day. That's freaking unbelievable. I fired 228 rounds with an 11% hit rate, but I'm more excited that almost all of the other wingmen got at least 1 kill today. Pilot Officer Allard, my number 2, he got a hit and 1 kill. So I believe that makes his score 2 now. But look at this. Flight Lieutenant Green, he got 2 kills. Unfortunately, Green was also my number 3. He's the guy who got shot down from my flight. My number 4, Flying Officer Hogg, was the only one who didn't get a kill, but he did fire. So it's not like he was just chasing butterflies. He fired 72 rounds. He just missed, and then we sort of ran out of targets, I guess. Squadron Leader Wilkinson, leading the second flight, fired 282 rounds. He got 3 kills himself today as well. Man, he was just going nuts out there too. And look at this, all 3 of his wingmen each got 1 kill themselves. So Flight Lieutenant McLaughlin, Flying Officer Cook, and a Pilot Officer Allard. A different Pilot Officer Allard. Definitely, we have 2 of them. Look at that. Pilot Officer Allard and Pilot Officer Allard. So we have the Allard twins, apparently, are in the squadron. I didn't notice that before. And let's just do some quick math here. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So that is the 14 kills. So we didn't even cheat some of the primary targets. You know, sometimes they get shot down by other planes or ground fire or they crash. Not so. We legit shot down 14 aircraft today. I was jokingly saying last mission that we put a dent in the Soviet MiG inventories. Well, fucking this time he's not the joke. 14 aircraft could be, if they all came from the same squadron, we basically just wiped out a whole squadron today. I assume they're probably not. They're probably a couple of different squadrons, but that is a lot of aircraft. I'm still blown away by that. Let's check our roster, check in on our 2 guys that got shot down today, and see how they're doing. Oh, fucking awesome news. Squadron Leader Sammy Wilkinson lives. He was shot down, but he got out of his burning aircraft, and after scoring 3 kills today, he is just shy of the ace mark. He's got 4 air-to-airs, and he is active, not wounded or anything. He's back in the squadron, and chomping at the bit to maybe get that number 5 in a future mission. The flip side of that is, unfortunately, Flight Lieutenant Paul Green did not survive. So with 2 air-to-air kills, both of which he got today during the mission, he was shot down and killed. KIA for Paul Green. Alright, let's just hit the highlights of the log here for the mission. 11:49 and 10 seconds. The fight begins with me firing 20 rounds of 20mm cannon at this MiG-15, going head-to-head with him. For those of you who have been with me for a while, you know that I hate head-to-head encounters like that. They almost always go badly, oftentimes with a collision. I just try to avoid them as much as possible, but in this case, Lady Luck was with me, and I was able to hit that guy well before his rounds were even close to me. So we picked him off from a distance, and down he went, destroyed at 11:49 and 11. Looks like we had other MiG-15s tearing through the squadron as the whole squads went head-to-head. At 11:49, 57, Flying Officer Cook destroys MiG-15, so that's the second MiG going down. 11:50-47, Flight Lieutenant McLaughlin destroyed his own Fajot, going down. That's the third kill. We're back around behind that other MiG just a few seconds later, 11:50-51, knocking him off. I think this was the guy, I think this was the unbelievable long-distance shot, knocking that MiG off of my wingman's 6 o'clock. Squadron Leader Wilkinson makes his first kill, dropping another MiG. 11:51-42, I hit my next MiG, 20mm rounds, down it goes. And, Flight Lieutenant Green destroyed his MiG, 11:52-36. This is from, he hit it further up. So this was, so the plane was spinning in, and it just hits the ground here at 11:52-36. 11:53-19, Squadron Leader Wilkinson gets his second MiG. 11:53-24, I knocked down my next one. I don't even remember. Was this my fourth? Or maybe fifth? Maybe fourth, because we still have a little bit of log left here to go. But here's Wilkinson hitting his third MiG, his third and final kill of the day. Immediately coming under fire from another MiG behind him. And then he was hit. He was hit by 37mm cannon from this MiG-15, and that must have been the killing blow. So it looks like he was hit here. 11:54-42, Squadron Leader Wilkinson shot down near Bad Herzfeld. Just a few seconds later, in this crazy maelstrom, Flight Lieutenant Green gets another MiG, shot down 11:55-14. 11:55-19, Flying Officer Hogg fires his 2 bursts at a MiG. His one shot to get a kill, unfortunately, he missed, but he was still in the action, and that's what I'm looking to see. That's all I ask for. It's when the wingmen are completely unproductive and off flying all over the map and not doing what they're supposed to do that I get pissed. But Hogg was trying, but his number just didn't come up today. So 11:55-43, this was my number 5th. 11:56-21, Flight Lieutenant Green was hit by 23mm cannon, and it looks like he took an agonizing 24 seconds to spin into the ground. Because down at 11:56-46, Flight Lieutenant Green shot down near Bad Herzfeld. So he also took a long time to spin in, but for whatever reason was not able to get out of his aircraft. And also, unfortunately, it looks like he was shot down by the very last MiG in the area, because Pilot Officer Allard finished him off here at 11:56-43, blowing him apart while Green was still on his way down. Allard actually hit 2 different MiGs within the span of just a few seconds. So the one at 11:56-43, I think that was him coming to my rescue. I think that's the MiG that he shot off my tail. And that guy was close in trying to get me. I think that's here. I might be misremembering, but I think that's Allard. I think he cleared my tail, and then just a few seconds later he was able to fire again at a different MiG-15, dropping that at 11:57-02, and that was the last MiG in the area. That's our final item on the log. So after that, that was the end of the engagement. We just got back together and headed back home. So Allard with his 2 kills. Oh, no, I'm sorry. There's 2 different Allards. That's what's going on. It's the Allard twins. They got me. They got me again. I should start making them fly together. Let's put the Allard twins together all the time. That makes more sense now that I'm remembering it. But anyways, holy moly. Much more exciting mission, I think, than even the first one. This was just an all-out air battle, which, like I said during the mission, this is why I like the earlier campaigns, stuff in the 50s, like the Korean War campaigns and some of these fictional ones, the desert campaigns. I just like having a ton of airplanes in the air and just flying through a swarm and picking out targets, and it's just dodging friendlies and bad guys and zooming and getting in nice and close for these gun kills. You're right in the thick of the action, and I find that so much more exciting than locking up a radar blip at 100 miles and firing a missile. So, I mean, that's just my preference. That can be fun too, but I get really jazzed when shit like this happens. So this was a fucking awesome mission. I am so happy. And before we go, let's check out my Distinguished Flying Cross citation. Should I do the accent? The Queen and the British Empire has on this day, 26 June 1953, awarded the Distinguished Flying Cross to Pilot Officer Reginald Hickenbottom, Royal Air Force, for extraordinary heroism displayed as a Meteor F-8 pilot, number 54 Squadron, in connection to the aerial operations over Bad Hersfeld, West Germany, 26 June 1953. Pilot Officer Reginald Hickenbottom fearlessly engaged the enemy in the face of extremely heavy hostile fire, and by his courage and leadership, directly contributed to his unit achieving outstanding mission success. Hear, hear! Haha! Cheers!